Hey guys, Lar here. Got Diabetes Ninja with me.
Top of the morning.
And it has been over 2 years since we've uploaded anything. February 2023 was our last video. How you been, Ninja?
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I've been working quite a bit, and I've also been trying to... video games are the only hobby that I haven't had to completely abandon, so... I've been actively playing. Not anything new, though, because I'm still rocking a PlayStation 4.
PS4 is pretty current. We're still getting a lot of games on it.
Yes, sir.
Shit, man. I guess this is an update video. Kind of just let everybody know what we're up to, what we're doing, that we do remember that we have a channel that we want to upload regularly to. So the channel is coming back in some form or fashion moving forward. We just don't know a time schedule yet. But yeah, it's something we want to work on. We have not upgraded our microphone, as you can hear. You can look forward to it sounding exactly the same way it did in 2016. So yeah, a lot's changed. I've been through like a relationship and a half, and then I got engaged. So I'm engaged now to somebody totally different from like any other girlfriend I've ever talked about on the channel. So that's happened. You want to say hi?
Hi.
Yeah, she's here. This is Lana, and I love her. Justice came out. Their name is Quid now. They go by they, them. We're, really happy that they went ahead and took that leap. It is funny listening back to all the old videos because I just feel as if I'm like repeatedly dead naming them, but they don't really worry about that. I talked to them pretty regularly. They said it was okay for me to, announce that they're Quinn. Their channel is Unsleeping. You can find them on YouTube, and they upload like boss videos. All they do is upload videos of them beating hard bosses. So they upload way regularly than we do. As in, we haven't uploaded since fucking 2023. DMR is doing pretty good. He's going to be joining the Peace Corps soon. So if we do get any videos with him involved, they're going to have to be done pretty soon. So stay tuned for that. I don't really talk to Morty much anymore. So I don't know if Morty's going to be joining us for the revival. And then for anyone who's listened to our videos from 2016, Isaac did move back into town. And every now and again I'll talk to Isaac, but I don't know if he's interested in being here either. So this might just be the Lar and Dinja show for a little bit.
Alright, well, I'll be honest with you. I don't have much to offer, but I will do my best and soldier on and hopefully not embarrass the team too bad.
You never embarrassment. I was about to say, except for the Mega Man, but that never got there.
Well,
We've talked about the Mega Man X video so much, I bet you some people probably believe they've seen it at this point. But technically, no. 100.
Well, it'll have to be lost to the sands of time. And sometimes I'll embarrass myself on film, but I think that the other part is that I kind of throw marbles underneath our feet by asking for technical feats that are probably impossible. I think that YouTube is way easier than it is, so I don't know. I think that I need to calm down and rein it in. You know what I mean? Learn what's actually possible on a computer, because I'm the least computer literate man on YouTube, probably. I don't know how to investigate that claim because of my not being very computer literate. So if you end up calling me out on that, I will not hear about it.
Yeah, he's not on his Twitter account. So let's see what has changed. What's new in the last couple of years in gaming? Capcom has been re-releasing a lot of classic games in the last few years. They've kind of done a 180 as a company. Resident Evil's good again. Fighting games are accessible again. Street Fighter is good again. Good on you, Capcom. Konami has stopped trying. Bad on you, Konami. Switch 2 is the hot new gaming news. I do not like game key cards. They're pretty bad.
So that's several different fires to try to put out at the same time, and I was going to respond to them individually, unless you
for it.
Okay, so the Capcom thing. I do like it that they are letting Digital Eclipse put everything out again in HD and with rollback netcode. This is all good. However, I think this is in response to the fact that games are so expensive to make now that you almost have to like re-release your entire library and scoop up the equitable part of your brand for a couple of years in order to afford to make one game. I think that games have probably like gotten to the point of not being sustainable. You know, it's funny because some of the Western companies out there have like not become risk averse, so they're putting out a bunch of like overly ambitious live service games that nobody wants or asked for, and those studios are dying, right? I think that more studios have died in the last couple of years than died in the last 20 in terms of, you know, big established studios going directly to the graveyard. And I think that Capcom is doing the smart thing. They're meeting organic demand, and it turns out that people want, like, please just put out Dino Crisis. You know what I mean? Please find a way to just give us Capcom vs. SNK series. Like, please, you know, give us back Marvel vs. Capcom 2. And, you know, I think that at a time whenever they needed people to want stuff that they had already made so they didn't have to make anything in a non-sustainable way, they also, it was like an opportunity right when they need it, because they're like, we need to get money, but making games is risky and difficult and too expensive to do. But what if we just sell people things because we've refused to sell it to them for the last 20 years? So they created organic demand and capitalized when they struck while the iron is hot, and I'm glad. We're all winning here.
Yeah, now that they're actually releasing the games, we're all winning.
Well, see, what's funny, though, is that, like, you hinted at Konami having more mixed results, right? Because, you know, whenever you re-put out the Metal Gear Solid series, people end up, like, buying it. And I've had technophiles get real upset about, well, it doesn't display it properly. What if you have, like, one of those, like, 40-inch across, you know, horizontal computer monitors? And I'm like, okay, well...
There's a little bit more wrong with it than just that, but...
Those are the people who are complaining the most and making hate videos about it, though. You know what I mean? The normal... consumer out there is just either our age, okay, they're boomers.
I will say this. There is an uptick of people who are like half my age who are now aware of Metal Gear Solid 2 and that whole like ending Kodak Hall that they just...
Oh yeah, watching Gen Alpha react to that, they're just like, oh my god, when did this game... Yeah, they're just like, when did this game come out? Dude, that's
somebody was like, so has this been updated? Did they update the script? No, they haven't touched shit on it.
It just turns out that like the writing's been on the wall.
It doesn't even run at the same FPS as the PlayStation 2 did. It runs at half speed on the new consoles. Like, we did not fix anything on here. So yeah, I mean, that's good. And you know, we're getting a new Silent Hill. Silent Hill F got announced. It looks like a Fatal Frame. I'm interested, but we'll see.
I'm curious, will they be able to deliver what looks like an expensive looking game, right? Because here's the thing, if they don't hit it out of the park, I'm worried about, like I'm saying, it's a landscape where you've got to really put in chips. Like, we've gotten rid of all the weak hands have folded. So I think that we're at the point now where it's like, I don't know, Konami doesn't have the same kind of catalog that Capcom does, where they can just afford to re-release a thing that people loved 25 years ago, because I'll be honest with you, they already did that, and now they've like emptied what 2 bullets they had in their chamber. You know what I mean? Because
Konami has been historically pretty good about making their older titles available when they could. So
what I'm saying though is that, like, when you look at the bankable entities, now we've gotten them both, right? Like Silent Hill 2, they like redid it from the ground up, and then like Metal Gear Solid 3, like those were, you know, there's no more going to the well. The well is dry now, you know what I mean? And so I don't know where they go from here, and I hope that all of what we have in the next couple of years sells really well, because if not, Konami's going to have to sell itself to like Nintendo or something like that, you know what I mean?
This happened before we stopped uploading, but I don't know if we ever talked about it, but they sold a lot in 2020 and 2021 to stay afloat. So financially, they're doing kind of okay. But yeah, Switch 2, what are your thoughts? It just came out as of the recording of this a couple weeks ago.
So now I am the last guy to buy any system, right? And so I think that anybody who eats shit for being an early adopter, oh, well, you paid more to get less for a system that they haven't figured out yet and there's no games yet? Oh man, if only every other system released since the beginning of time were like exactly that. Oh, wait a minute. They were. They all were. Every one of you early adopters, you're getting exactly what you deserve. You're paying.
Coming out strong.
You know what? You wanted to pay too much, so that way you could be the only kid on the block who's like already tired of Mario Kart World. You did it. Congratulations. You know what I mean?
Did you hear that the reason there's no guest characters or like because A had like Link, right? There's no characters outside of the Mario verse in the game because it was deemed not needed for sales. That's their official reason for not putting Link in the game.
Do you believe? Because like not having heard that information.
What an arrogant answer. What an arrogant answer.
You know what, though? Similar to the way that Iran pretends like they're still going to do stuff to us, I think that this is really them being like, no, stupid, Link is DLC a year from now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that this thing is going to be like a Smash Brothers level, like, oh, look, Incineroar, he drives now. You know, like we're going to get Minecraft Steve behind the wheel of a car, I think. That's what I think is going to happen, because they're going to like look at how people are going to lose interest pretty quick, right? And I don't know, man. I just don't think that they're going to stay the course on that one.
I think you're probably right that it's going to be like they're building games with the idea of DLC longevity in mind now, because they retroactively made Mario Kart 8 that, and it made them all of the money. Of course they're going to do that again, and you have to hold stuff back to have it release. The whole idea of DLC giving you more game than you would otherwise would have gotten is such a myth.
That idea has been dead for sure for 10 years.
Do people still act like it's true? And I'm like, what are you fucking on about?
Oh yeah, Tekken 8. I'm not even going to talk about it much more than that.
Tekken 8 was good and then got bad in the time that we were gone.
We'll see what happens. Maybe they sell so many copies of it that they don't need Link or Kirby or any of those people. But, like, if you're telling me that a year from now that Malo is on sale for $11, like, won't surprise me none, you know what I mean? Gino and Malo, $11 a piece. Like, I'll be like, yeah, that's what we're doing. I'll be honest with you. That may not be an unfair value, because if they're really gonna, like, make you able to FaceTime people while you're, like, playing the game, that isn't free for them to be able to provide. You know what I mean? Like, if you provide a park space, that means you bought the land and the picnic table, and so it's like, I don't know, like, at some point...
My argument is who asked for it.
Oh, no, I agree. No, see, this is the thing about Nintendo, though. Sometimes they know what might end up being something we didn't even know to ask for. And so you are right that, like, sometimes they offer us arms to where it's, like, funny and, like, fun for 2 days.
Well, this is an example of a game company insisting on a feature that costs them a lot of money continuously forever, and then when people don't want to pay that amount of money, they're like, well, this stuff isn't free, but I didn't ask for, like, continuous live feed Mario Kart. I just asked for a new Mario Kart, like, make me a Double Dash 2, motherfucker. Like, you could just make that and it work and not bleed you money while you do it. Same thing with AAA gaming, where it's like, well, having Jin Kazuma's sweat glands be visible cost a lot of money. I never fucking asked to see it, though. Like, why does Tekken 8 cost... It was something like 8 times more the money than Tekken 7 in its entirety for 8 to launch in a shit state, and all that money went into, like, new textures for fucking skins.
And I'll be honest with you, I think that this is actually part and parcel with my feelings about the Switch 2. Whenever you're saying, who asked for Mario Kart World? And I'm like, who asked for a Switch 2?
No, people were ready for a new Switch.
I mean, I guess
they weren't ready.
They were, and the reason we know that's
for basically the Super Switch, where it's just an upgrade. But
they wanted a fruitful realization of the concept of what Switch 2 could be right out the gate.
Yeah,
they didn't want a feature desert. You know what I mean? Like no features to be found anywhere. You know what I mean? It's and
here's my biggest problem with the Switch 2. The game key cards mirror the problem with the 64. Nintendo is only offering you either the world's smallest cart or a 64 gig cart, which they're charging third parties out of the ass of how much the money is, or you could have a game key cart. So either you could have a cart that does not fit your game, it's something like a 2 gig cart. So either you cannot fit your game on there, or you could buy a cart that's too big for your fucking game, essentially, and pay Nintendo way too much for it. So they're all doing game keys, and that comes with problems, and the consumer, surprisingly, consumers are actually pissed. There's actually a big fucking blowback on it. Now,
I don't trust them mobilizing for long, right? Because
right. Well, I mean, so I was going to lead into that. It's easy to boycott when they don't have a product you really want.
Yeah.
Because right now, third parties have announced that all the third party Switch 2 sales were lower than the lowest expectations, but there's only one exclusive on the Switch. It's Mario Kart World. Every other third party game that launched with it has not only been out, but it's been out, some of them been out for like a decade at this point. So like, no, nobody's gonna go out and pay full price for a game key card of like fucking like Cyberpunk or Red Dead 2 or some shit, you know? But when the exclusives start coming out that you want to play and you can't play them anywhere, I expect people to be a little bit more on board with game key cards, because that's just the nature of the beast, right?
Well, so maybe this isn't the GameCube, but I remember the people that loved their N64, loved it. They like let, the GameCube come out, and they're like, okay, Luigi's Mansion, alright, I guess so. Super Mario Sunshine, oh, okay, well, it's Mario 64, but with a water jetpack or whatever, and nobody cared. Wind Waker comes out, I'm talking about these people like cry tears of joy. I think that Zelda, they refuse to put out a Zelda until something that reaches into your very core of your, like, it isn't just whimsy, it isn't just satisfying, like on a, playing it kind of level. Like, if it isn't like epiphanal, they don't let the word Zelda be put on the box. And so I think that Zelda is probably going to save this thing. Maybe history doesn't always indicate
I don't remember Wind Waker saving the GameCube. I remember people hating how Wind Waker looked for 10 years, and then pretending that they always liked how it looked after the fact. But at the time, and I don't think people get this either, because Mario Sunshine is considered the best 3D Mario game of all time now. But at the time, I remember a lot of people being like, oh, it's 64 with a jetpack, who gives a fuck?
Well, so here's the other thing. Well, and actually, really, I make it... There's actually two schools of people who eventually migrated to GameCube. People that migrated whenever they put out a Zelda, and people who migrated whenever Super Mario Melee came out. That's whenever the two transitions happened. So I think that between those pillars, like, maybe they can't keep going back to the well, but, I mean, I guess we'll see. Because Nintendo ain't fixing to stop making games. They're going to keep on...
Yeah. With Nintendo, I do believe that Zelda will save it, or they'll do Smash Brothers again and it'll save it. Like, eventually, everyone's gonna buy a Switch 2, and game key cards, I predict, are just gonna be the norm, and people are just gonna relent. The limited run crowd that's been keeping the smaller third parties are not gonna be there, and the smaller third parties may just not be on Switch in the same capacity. But that's my biggest fear about the Switch 2. Because we all know the Nintendo first-party games are coming. They'll be great. Developers bounced off the 64 because the carts cost too much money, and the initial market wouldn't support third parties. Like, third parties bounced off the Wii U because the market was not initially there for third parties, and Nintendo had raised their fees for publishing on there for the Wii. Now, third parties are selling lower than their lowest estimates, and like an embarrassing state for the Switch 2 release. And Nintendo is charging more money than they ever have for you to put your fucking game on there, with a controversy that hasn't blown over yet because Nintendo hasn't gotten that killer app to, like, make you forgive them.
Well, see,
I don't know if third parties come back to Switch 2.
Well, see, here's the thing. My perspective is actually more informed by, like, people that I ran into, because I'm the least computer illiterate man in the world. I do not even know what people are saying about it online, but I know what they're saying about it at my employer, and I got two different employers, and I run into people all the time at different varying levels. I've, like, become, like, people think that I'm the video game zeitgeist at the places where I'm at, so anytime that a video game event of any kind happens, people come to me and want to talk to me about it. And so I'm more or less, like, basically telling you, like, what my feedback that I'm hearing on the ground is, and, like, who knows, maybe I'm, like, running into non-representative samples. It's entirely possible.
Yeah, because we still live in, like, that lower Alabama slice of America, and I don't know, man. The internet gives you more review. I say that, the internet can give you more review of the world, but it's very easy to get into, like, little pockets of the internet that's an echo chamber. You really do have to be vigilant in what you're reading. So, just because you're on the internet doesn't mean you're more informed, but...
Well, yeah, because the thing is, like, also, people already go in there galvanized, where I think that I've liked games that other people ended up trying because of my word of mouth endorsement. And actually, most games that I've gotten people to play with me, that is how it arrived at their doorstep. They were never going to try it based on internet recommendations. So I think that people organically ignored the white noise that happens surrounding games when they hear about stuff online. It's like, oh, Helldivers got review bombed. Oh, well, are we still playing Thursday? Because I don't care about that at all. You know what I'm saying?
Right, because if your buds are enjoying a game, you'll enjoy it regardless of what the internet does.
Oh no, the people in the Philippines can't get it. Oh well, do you still get Helldivers at your house? Cool, we are still playing Thursday.
Speaking of playing, this is not really video game related, but the Final Fantasy Magic set dropped. That's all I hear anyone talk about now. It is raining hardcore, man. We might have to wrap this video early.
Alright, well, we appreciate you tolerating our nonsense.
No, I don't have anything to say about Final Fantasy Magic.
Oh, that's a whole video. That's a whole video.
That's a whole other video?
That's a whole video.
Oh, we might be making that video soon then. I don't want to leave. Rain in the background aside and thunder aside. What are our plans for the future? What kind of content are we hoping to make? We're not making any hard promises. We haven't recorded shit. This is the first time we've been in the booth for 2 years. But what do we want to do? I would love to do Let's Plays again, but I also would like to do more podcast videos, and I also would like to do more edited essays.
So my personal guiding principle that I am trying to be motivated by and do is that things are fleeting, right? You never know how few opportunities you're going to get to have at something. And so I think that now that we can never know whenever fewer than a single digit number of times are going to avail themselves to do a thing, you try to get it out, get the important part of it out of you. You know what I mean? So basically, I'm trying to create things that I think are going to be a time capsule. And so that's what I'm basically trying to do is leave something out there on the internet for me to go look up later.
That's deep. That is deep.
It's veiled narcissism.
It's veiled narcissism. I don't know, man. Because you think we lost our friend Chris Wilson, and over the years we've really appreciated the fact that he was on the channel when he was with us, and that we do have those videos. That's kind of one thing that I encourage anyone I meet. Even if you only upload it for yourself, take videos of your fucking loved ones and families now. Create things with them.
Yeah, because, some of it won't matter, right? If you take 100 pictures, 2 of them will matter, But that's how you gotta take 100 pictures, man. Got to.
It's a variation of that Chuck Jones bit where he's you gotta draw 2,000 bad drawings before you get to the good drawing. You gotta take 100 pictures that don't matter till you get to the one that does. I think that was Chuck Jones. It was one of the Leon Schlesinger animators.
What I actually think happens to me more often is I hit it out of the park right away. So then I think I've struck gold. But no, I found some gold that fell out of somebody's pocket. There's no more gold. But you know what? The fact that it was important that I ever had gold. Sometimes contrast matters, right? Sometimes we need shade to understand that light is important. And so I don't know, man. Hopefully you guys are getting something out of it. I think that if our videos end up at the end of time only having 11 views apiece, I'm okay with it. I'll probably be responsible for 8 of those views. For those who happened upon this, we appreciate y'all's time. Thanks for giving us a platform.
Yeah, we appreciate you listening to this. We appreciate you listening way back when we first did this. I appreciate all the views. I appreciate the almost 40,000 people who saw me get my fucking ass handed to me at the Guilty Gear Strive beta. That's our #1 video. By a long shot. It's just me getting my ass whipped.
Well, thanks again for your times, folks. Do like, comment, and subscribe. We appreciate the love and the hate. If you think that we're stupid, leave us a comment in the thing or whatever.
Like this video if you think we should stop.
And that's how you create engagement, folks.
That's how you create engagement. We YouTubers now. Did you want to say anything else? She gave me a thumbs up. I'm just creating B-roll at this point for all the suggested videos essentially. You want to make sure you have a little bit of a clip so that you're just not just dead air when people are looking at your other videos. That's an insider tip.